Good morning, Virgo. I need to be brutally clear. Silent treatment is not love. Someone withdrawing communication, refusing to engage, making you guess what they're feeling while claiming to care about you, that's manipulation, not affection. And content telling you, don't let their silence fool you, they really love you, is enabling dysfunction. It's teaching you to ignore evidence of poor treatment and create comforting narratives instead. So let's talk about what silent treatment actually is, why it's never acceptable, and why you deserve better than someone who claims to have your heart while refusing to communicate. Actions reveal truth more than claimed feelings. Someone can have all the feelings in the world, can care deeply, can think about you constantly, can carry genuine affection. But if those feelings don't translate into respectful treatment, into consistent communication, into willingness to engage, even when uncomfortable, then the feelings don't matter. Or, more accurately, they matter less than the behavior because you don't experience their internal feelings. You experience their actions, and their actions, specifically their choice to withdraw communication, are what affect you. So, content telling you not to let silent treatment fool you, content suggesting that silence masks deep feelings. It's asking you to prioritize imagined internal state over demonstrated external behavior. It's asking you to trust what you can't see over what you can clearly observe. And that's backwards. That's how people stay in situations that harm them while telling themselves it's actually love. Can you distinguish between what someone claims to feel and how they actually treat you? This distinction determines whether you accept treatment you shouldn't. Because here's what silent treatment actually is: it's emotional manipulation, it's punishment through withdrawal, it's controlling behavior designed to make you anxious, make you pursue, make you comply. When someone gives you silent treatment, they're communicating several things: that their discomfort with conflict matters more than your need for resolution, that they'd rather shut down than engage, that they'll withdraw connection as punishment when you displease them, that they don't have to communicate directly about their feelings or needs, that you should be able to read their mind or intuit what's wrong. That clarity is less important than maintaining their emotional comfort, that your anxiety during their silence is acceptable cost of their coping mechanism. That making you wonder what's wrong, whether you did something, whether they're coming back, that's fine with them as long as they don't have to communicate. Those aren't messages of love. Those are messages of dysfunction. Does the person giving you silent treatment show these patterns? Be honest about what their behavior is actually communicating, because I need to address the "you have their heart" framing. Even if that's true, even if they do have deep feelings, even if you genuinely matter to them, none of that excuses silent treatment. None of that makes withdrawal acceptable. None of that means you should tolerate being shut out as relational strategy. Because love, functional, healthy adult love, includes communication, includes willingness to engage even when it's uncomfortable, includes choosing connection over withdrawal even when you're upset. So if someone has your heart but expresses that through silence, through punishment, through making you guess what's wrong, they're not loving you well. They might be loving you in the only way they currently know how, but that way isn't functional, isn't healthy, isn't something you should accept. Can you hold both? They might care and their treatment is unacceptable. This nuance prevents you from staying in dysfunction out of belief that feelings excuse behavior. Because here's what happens when you accept silent treatment: you teach them it works. You demonstrate that withdrawing is effective strategy for managing conflict or discomfort. You reinforce the exact pattern that's harming you, and you damage yourself. You stay anxious. You stay uncertain. You stay in position where you can't plan, can't make decisions, can't have clarity about where you stand, and you abandon yourself. You prioritize their comfort with avoiding over your need for communication. You make their unwillingness to engage more important than your legitimate relational needs. None of that serves you. None of that builds healthy relationship. None of that creates sustainable partnership. So when content tells you not to let silence fool you, when it suggests you should just wait patiently while they work through whatever they're working through, it's asking you to accept mistreatment, to normalize dysfunction, to make yourself small and patient and understanding while someone treats you poorly. And you deserve better than that. Will you accept silent treatment or will you require communication? This answer determines what kind of relationships you'll have, because I want to talk about what you might be telling yourself. They're just processing. They need space. They're not good with words. This is how they handle conflict. If I just give them time, they'll come back. And maybe all of that is true. Maybe they are processing. Maybe they do need space. Maybe communication is genuinely difficult for them. But none of that means you have to accept it. None of that means their limitation becomes your problem to solve through patient waiting. Because healthy people who need space say, I need space. I'll reconnect in X time frame. They communicate about their need for non-communication. They give you information so you're not left guessing. They don't just go silent. Don't just disappear. Don't just withdraw without explanation and leave you anxious and uncertain. So if someone is giving you actual silent treatment, not communicated space, but punitive withdrawal, they're not managing their process well. They're managing it poorly at your expense. Are you making excuses for behavior that shouldn't be excused? Examine whether your justifications are protecting you or enabling mistreatment. Because here's what actually needs to happen. If someone genuinely cares, if they genuinely have your heart, if the connection is genuinely important to them, they need to communicate. Even poorly, even imperfectly, even through discomfort. They need to say, I'm struggling and I need time, but I'm not abandoning this. They need to give you enough information that you're not left in complete uncertainty. They need to work on their communication patterns. Get help if needed. Develop capacity for engagement even when it's hard, because silent treatment isn't fixed by you being more patient. It's fixed by them doing their work to communicate better. And if they're unwilling to do that work, if they insist that withdrawal is just how they are, if they expect you to accept silence as a normal part of relating, then they're not ready for healthy relationship, and you staying doesn't help them get ready. It just enables them to avoid the growth work they need to do? Can you require communication as condition of continued engagement? This boundary protects you from accepting dysfunction as love. Because I also need to address people who keep accepting silent treatment. If this is pattern for you, if you regularly find yourself with people who withdraw, who go silent, who punish through absence, you need to examine what you're accepting and why. What wound makes you willing to tolerate being shut out? What pattern keeps you choosing people who can't communicate because the answer isn't finding someone who loves you enough to not go silent? The answer is developing enough self-respect that you won't tolerate silent treatment regardless of how much someone claims to care. That's internal work. Work on your boundaries. Work on your willingness to walk away from mistreatment. Work on requiring baseline respect in all relationships. Do that work, or keep experiencing this pattern with different people who all treat you similarly. What pattern are you perpetuating by accepting silent treatment? Address the root or keep experiencing the symptom. Because ultimately, here's the truth. Maybe they do have your heart. Maybe they do care. Maybe feelings are genuine. But if those feelings coexist with silent treatment, with withdrawal, with punitive silence, then the feelings aren't enough. The care isn't functional. The love isn't healthy. And you accepting it, wading through it, telling yourself not to let the silence fool you, that's you abandoning yourself. That's you making someone else's limitations more important than your own needs. That's you accepting crumbs and calling it connection. You deserve communication. You deserve engagement. You deserve someone who doesn't weaponize withdrawal. And if the person giving you silent treatment can't provide that, can't do the work to communicate even when it's hard, and then they're not ready for you, not ready for healthy relationship, not ready for the kind of partnership you deserve. So stop waiting, stop being patient, stop accepting silence, and start requiring communication. Start establishing boundaries. Start walking away from people who love you poorly, even if they love you deeply. Because deep feelings that result in poor treatment aren't worth having, aren't worth accepting, aren't worth building life around. You deserve better. You deserve someone whose actions match their claimed feelings. You deserve someone who communicates even when it's uncomfortable. Don't settle for less. Don't let content convince you that silent treatment is acceptable if someone just cares enough. It's not. It never is, and you're worth more than that. Require it or walk away. Those are your only functional options. Choose accordingly. Silent treatment is abuse, not love. Feelings don't excuse withdrawal. Care doesn't justify punishment through silence. Stop accepting mistreatment and calling it complicated love. Require communication or require distance. But stop accepting silence as proof of someone's heart. Actions reveal truth. Silence reveals unwillingness to engage. That's not love. That's dysfunction. Walk away from it.